Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ali. If you're new here, hello. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. So today, I wanted to update you guys and give you every book I've 5-starred in 2023. It is almost the end of, or it is the end of July. Yeah, it's the end of July. So we're a little bit over halfway through the year 2023, and I have 8 books that I have newly added to my 5-star list. So 5 stars for me are books that I genuinely still think about. I'll be walking around and just doing nothing and I'll think about that book or those characters, or I'll read other books and I'll be like, this book is good but it's not this one. Also, Atlas is attacking my feet. Hi. That's what makes up 5 stars. 4 stars are good books that I really like, but it's I'll put them back and I won't necessarily be drawn to them a lot. 5 stars is I've reread them, I think about them actively. My new 5 stars. My first one is actually one that I don't physically own, which is surprising. That is Final Offer by Lauren Asher. It is last book, I think. I don't think she's doing more. It's the last book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. This one was my favorite. I think I 3 and 4 starred the other 2. I think this one was my favorite, then the second one, then the first one. This one I felt like just had so much more emotional depth than what the other 2 did. I felt like was connecting with the characters more and cared about them more than I did the other 2. But this series in general, it's a companion novel series. There's 3 books. It follows 3 brothers. They are set to inherit a bunch of money and basically this world's version of Disneyland. It's called Dreamland. The boys' grandfather passes away and they are set to inherit everything, but they are each given stipulations on things they need to do and accomplish before they can get their inheritance. So this follows the 3rd brother and the things that he needs to do to earn his inheritance. This one deals a little bit with substance abuse, so it's not super heavy, not super descriptive with it, but it does deal with alcoholism and substance abuse if that's something you want to know about. But this one I felt like I just connected with so much more than the other 3, and I genuinely think about this relationship all the time. So then next, what might honestly be one of my favorite books of 2023 is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I've read this book 3 times now. First read this book on Kindle and then I bought it and reread it and then reread it again. Adore this book. This is hockey romance, but it's very good smut. It's smut with plot. I am a smut girl, but I am a smut with plot girl. I can't just read erotica that has nothing to do with anything. That I will DNF. But this was my perfect combination of smut and plot. Our main character, Anastasia, she is, what is it called? An ice skater. I almost said ice dancer, but she's an ice skater. And our boy main character, Nate, is on the hockey team. Anastasia's partner gets injured, so he has to help her for a while. This does have trigger warnings for light discussion of eating disorders and unhealthy relationships. Not necessarily domestic abuse, but unhealthy relationships. So again, that's something you don't really feel like is your thing. This might not be for you. It's not super heavy, but it's there. But I love the relationships of these characters. I'm so excited for the second book to come out. We'll be clawing down the door of the Barnes & Noble as soon as it is released. If you have not read this book and you like a good hockey romance with smut and good character building, I truly suggest this one. It was so good. Probably legitimately one of my favorite reads of 2023. So then if you're looking for more of a full 5-star companion novel series, I would suggest the Boys of Tommen series by Chloe Walsh. There is 3 books out now. I have not read the 3rd one yet. I believe there's going to be a 4th one, but I've read the first 2, Keeping 13 and Binding 13 and Keeping 13. They're backwards. This is the first one. This is the second one. My cat is being chaotic. They are both 5-star reads. They are both incredible. This is a high school sports romance. This is trigger warnings for domestic abuse, substance abuse, child abuse. It is a little bit more heavily talked about, so this would be something where if you don't want to read it, I wouldn't suggest it, because this is a little bit more graphic than Icebreaker and things were. But this takes place in high school, but it wasn't annoying high school. I'm obsessed with the friend group. I love our main characters. Our main character is Shannon. She gets transferred to this high school after dealing with a bunch of bullying in her previous high school, and she's also growing up in an unhealthy environment with a lot of abuse in general. She is a middle child. She has a couple older brothers, a few younger siblings. She's really going through it. So she moves to a new school where she meets Johnny, who is captain of, what is it? The football? Rugby. He's the captain of the rugby team, and they just have like this instant connection. And it's a little bit of a age gappy, forbidden type thing, but their relationship is so cute. I love Johnny so much. Just the way that he cares for Shannon is like unrealistic. Like, it's realistic, but it's like, it feels like unobtainable in the modern day. I love the series. Again, it has a lot more heavier concepts of domestic abuse things, but it is still sports romance, but there's so much character development, and like, these books are fat, so you get to like know so much about these characters and get to know them so well. It's like Addicted. If you like the Addicted Calloway series, I really think you'll like these. Like, it gets into the nitty-gritty of characters like Addicted does. So the Boys of Tommen series, highly suggest it. Then I have my first 5-starred Emily Henry, Happy Place, which I feel like is surprising. I feel like a lot of people, this was their least favorite Emily Henry. This was my favorite Emily Henry. I think I 4-starred Beach Lovers and Book Lovers, or Beach Lovers. What is it? Beach Read. Whoa. I 4-starred Beach Read and Book Lovers. I 5-starred Happy Place. Books for me, if they're 5 stars, it's because of the characters. And the way that she wrote these characters, I love. Is there a very big miscommunication trope that can kind of get a little annoying? Yes. If you're not a miscommunication person, that's probably isn't what made this a 5-star, but like, actively annotated this book while I was reading it, which is not something I normally do. And I loved the way she wrote friend groups. They weren't just friends, they had their own kind of storylines going and their own issues that they were dealing with. But the overarching theme of this book, Harriet and Wynne, they have been like the high school sweetheart couple of this friend group. They've been together for years. Everybody thinks that they're going to get married and like be together forever and they're the perfect couple. Well, they end up breaking up. They hadn't gotten around to telling everybody when they get invited back to their friend's beach house. It's kind of been their tradition where every summer their friend groups gets together at their friend's beach house and they spend the summer together and catch up, especially now that they're all adults. Most of the characters in this book are like 20s and 30s, like established doctors and lawyers and yada yada. So they want this time to maintain their friendships in their busy adult life. Wynne and Harriet haven't told anybody that they've broken up, so they're like, I guess we should tell them on this trip. They get to this trip and find out that their friend's summer house is being sold, and this is the last summer they're going to ever have to spend together. So Wynne and Harriet don't want to tell anybody that they've broken up because they don't want to ruin the vibe and like make it sad for everybody. They are fake dating during this summer thing, trying to hide the fact that they've broken up, dealing with all these other issues that are going on between the friend group. I just really loved how this one was written. I loved the friends. I love problems they were going through. As somebody with daddy issues, I related to this book. Like, I don't know. This book just hit the spot for me, and I highly, highly suggest it. If you're an Emily Henry person, I definitely think you'll like this one. Then, what was an unexpected 5-star for me was Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This is the first Abby Jimenez books that I've read. I am definitely going to go buy all of her other books because her writing style is incredible. I annotated the crap out of this book. I related to it so much. This book, our main love interest, one has like crippling anxiety and social anxiety, and the way that she wrote his character, I've read books with characters that have anxiety, but I didn't feel the way I felt about them that I did with this book. The way that she wrote a character with anxiety felt so real and relatable and amazing. I felt represented from it. But this overall is a fake dating, like, office romance. Our main characters work in a doctor's office. They initially don't like each other because they're both put up for the same promotion, and then one of them kind of backs out. Our female love interest finds out the male love interest has really bad social anxiety, so they start writing letters back and forth to each other and like texting instead of talking like face to face. And again, with his anxiety, you get the points of view of him like overthinking everything he's ever said and every social interaction he's ever made, and it's so like, oh my gosh, this is me. If you are someone with anxiety and social anxiety, I really suggest you read this, because I have never read a book that wrote anxiety the way she did. The way she wrote it was just incredible, and I loved it. Fake dating, his brother and his ex-girlfriend are getting married, so he asked our female love interest to be his date to the wedding so that nobody feels bad for him, because he doesn't want everybody looking at him and all that jazz. Their relationship is so freaking cute and so sweet. They're also dealing with issues of like terminal illness and trying to find organ donors, so light trigger warning for that. It's incredible. I love this book so much, and I was not expecting to. I thought that this was just going to be like another 3-star romance, but this book was incredible, and I highly, highly, highly suggest it. So then what I think is the only fantasy on this book, which is surprising because I feel like I read so much fantasy, is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. This book got very popular very fast, and for a reason. I do not think this book is overhyped or overrated or anything. I adore this book. I bought it on Kindle and read it, and then bought it physical, and then immediately reread it as soon as it came in the mail. I am obsessed with this book. I bought a copy for one of my friends and sent it to them to force them to read it. Love it. I feel like what makes this different for me is I feel like so many fantasy books are your main character that discovers they have powers, and that's the thing. I feel like so many fantasy books are finding out someone has power and training that power and becoming powerful. This is dragons. I feel like I don't read that many fantasy books where it's not, oh, I have magical powers. There is no power outside of dragons, you know? I felt like that was really different from anything that I've really read before, so I loved the uniqueness of it. There's also great romance. There's like a friends to lovers and an enemies to lovers. Obviously, the enemies to lovers is better, and it's really great. There's light smut, like it's good smut, but there's only like a couple chapters of it. I'm so excited for the second one. The plot twist and the way this ended was incredible. But overall, if you don't know anything about this book, our main character is Violet. She is the daughter of one of the commanding officers for the army, and her sister is one of the most highly decorated dragon riders. Violet is old enough that she needs to go to school and pick her profession, either being a dragon rider or a scribe, yada yada. She wants to be a scribe. She's very into reading and history, and that's what she wants to do. But her mother is extremely controlling, and she refuses to have a child that isn't a dragon rider, so she forces Violet to become a dragon rider. And the issue is, to become a dragon rider or a scribe, you have to go through tests and trials and schooling, but with dragon riding, it's either you're gonna fail out or you're gonna die. And Violet herself and everyone else around her does not think that she can physically, emotionally, mentally survive the schooling that it takes to become a dragon rider. That is this book. It's incredible if you love dragons, if you love fantasy, if you love romance. Love it so much. I feel like overarching, if you're an SJM person, you'll like this. I feel like if you're somebody that really enjoyed like in Throne of Glass Milan's characters and really getting to know Abraxos and stuff, I think that you'll really, really love this book. So, Fourth Wing, for the love of God, read it. It's incredible. And then finally, my most recent 5-star, which I think I just finished the other day. A little bit more of a niche book, but that is Beyond the Story, the 10-year record of BTS. That is their memoir that they just released. I am a K-pop head. I have a whole playlist of K-pop videos if you want to check them out if you're a K-pop person. But this is just their memoir. And I feel weird giving stars to memoirs because it's like, I feel it's weird to like pit someone's personal story up against somebody else's, but like genuinely this is such a good book. And if you're someone that's even vaguely interested in K-pop, I think everybody knows that there's like kind of the dark side untalked about thing with K-pop, with a sort of any media, even with like we're finding out with childhood acting, like there's always a bad side to it, and this touches on it a lot more than just normal. So this is incredible, and I love reading their perspectives of what they were dealing with at the times their albums were coming out. But if you're a BTS person, I highly suggest it. If you're a K-pop person, I highly suggest it. In general, I highly suggest it. It's so good. Yeah. But here are all of my 5-star reads so far in 2023. It is the end of July. We got what, 6 months left of the year? God, that's crazy. Yeah, this I'm hoping will continue to grow and not be the only 5-star, but we will see what happens by the end of the year. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me. If you want to follow me anywhere on my social media, everything is linked down below, as well as on my end card screen. Down below is my Amazon. You want to send me any of your favorite books or send me any of the ones that I have picked out on my TBR, I would love for you to do that. I greatly appreciate it. Down below is also my Pango. If you want to buy any of these books that I've 5-starred, you can find them secondhand cheaper on Pango Books. Cheaper way of filling up your TBR. But yeah, I think that's it. If you've read any of these books and you also 5-starred them, tell me why. If you didn't 5-star them, tell me why, but I also might not agree. No hate, to each their own. Everybody likes their own thing, genuinely. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I love and appreciate you so much. Please stay safe, and I will see you guys somewhere else on the internet. Bye.